So today I'm going to start with my ideas, which is really intake. It's where we manage demand. And OnePlan actually has several different ways of configuring this for an organization. We do have a request portal where you can have any user in the organization submit an idea and even vote on them if you're interested in getting input from everyone in the organization. In this case, we have the My Ideas area, and just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to focus on marketing. So I'm the head of marketing. I'm really just interested in the ones that have come in from marketing, and I can see here that I have one active one that I need to focus on: customer relationship management. It's new. I do have a prioritization score that is there, and it doesn't have an approval status. So what I could be doing, I would have received a notification through workflow that this was sent to me because I'm the head of marketing, and then I would have come into the tool, OnePlan, My Ideas area, looked at the ideas that are for marketing, that I can go in and further evaluate this. You can have a life cycle. So, separate from the project lifecycle, this is a demand lifecycle. It can have a workflow. It can be driven by actions that are taken on the business case. And you can see here that we have a business case, a traditional value statement, additional comments. I have some financials that have been put together, prioritization values that I could be evaluating whether they're correct or not. In this case, we're even doing WISJIF, which is the agile method for doing prioritization, with the shortest job first, with value. And then we have some relationships that have been established. So the key result for this, so this is important because now we have a key result that is tied to this new initiative. So if we decide not to do, we could be impacting this key result. So I'm going to go to this key result in a second, but just to complete on what the approver could be going through here is going through the approval status. And again, you could be doing this automated or manually, but essentially once it's approved, the item will be then created and represented as a project initiative within the enterprise portfolio. The workflow would move to closed, and you would have the project now ready to be sequenced and further built. Now, if I'm a project manager or a business analyst receiving this, you can see here that I have narrative information that is missing, and this is exactly what Sophia GPT is really good at. So and if it takes too long, I'll have to shut it down, but I'll go ahead. I could have gone and also included the value statement, additional comments, but just for time's sake, and the output that will come out, I left it at that. So whoever is actually responsible for creating this could be leveraging Sophia GPT for doing exactly this and completing the narrative. This form, by the way, can also be expanded. This is just a sample form, basic template that we have. But if your organization has something much more elaborate or simpler, this can be adjusted to reflect that. Okay, here we go. And this is a fairly standard use case for generative AI, where you basically prompt the system for some narrative. It's fairly comprehensive. So, and it's using, you note that it's using the data that is within the form. So again, the more information that you provide, the more contextual and relevant it is going to be. It even went into, you can see it's using the budget and the benefits as part of the description. It provided a prioritization risk assessment, and it's giving me a conclusion. So very nicely done. From here, I can take it and edit it and provide what's most relevant for our business case. Okay, so once I've done that, I want to go and take a look at, if we decide not to do this, what is the likely impact? So I'm going to go back and then look at our achieve a 30% increase in repeat business from existing customers, and do we have any other projects that are actually supporting this key result? Because if we don't, then we might want to consider it in order to achieve the key result. So in this case, we only have two, and one of it is another idea. Oh, it's the customer relationship idea. This is our idea. So what that means here is that we should include it, because it doesn't. We only have really two initiatives to support this very important key result. Now, the other thing I could do here, I could ask Sophia GPT to provide me with other ideas that could support the this key result. So another example, again, using generative AI to drive completion or attainment of a KR that's part of the of our corporate results. So I'm more interested now. Let's go back to our corporate. We finish our ideas. I'm going to go back to my strategy and see how that impacts. And I'm going to go and focus. Here we have the marketing. So I'm going to go and focus on that business unit again. I'm the head of marketing. So let's see how we're represented within the organization. We have these objective and this key result. So I could come in here, again, this is a strategy execution side, where I'm trying to determine, what are the initiatives and key results that impact this objective, increased brand awareness. So I could be doing exactly the same thing and asking, okay, to increase brand awareness, what key results are we missing that I could be looking at? So that's another way of leveraging Gen AI in the strategy execution side. I could dive deeper into every one of my key results and see, how they're being supported by projects. So this one looks pretty good. We have 3 projects and an idea. Could go back to my strategy and do the same thing for every one of my key results. So they look to be fairly well represented. I could go to the dashboard and then look at reports that are directly related to to see how the statusing of the key results and how we're represented. So this is a report pack that's is exclusive or specific to the OKR, our OKR area. And we can see here IT has the majority. We do have some, one main objective by business unit that were represented here, but IT has the majority. So we're not here is our brand awareness OKR that we were looking at. So from here, I could go into the portfolio itself and look at, and I'm going to, this is our project summary, by the way, and it does have the ability to show a Gantt, because I want to see exactly where we're at. And I will focus this further and only look at marketing again, because this is the overall enterprise portfolio. There's 4 projects that we're leading, and unfortunately they're not doing very well. So it could be, again, this is the roll-up. This is not all the projects that marketing is doing. These are the ones that are represented within the corporate portfolio: content marketing, Project Pro, SEO optimization, and social media strategy. So, any point here, I could be looking at exactly what's going on. We're in planning stage, and I could be looking at exactly why the status, we're off track on status. It looks like it's been there, historically, because we do have trending data, and it's really the schedule. So something is going on in the schedule. And again, if I'm a portfolio leader, I could be going into the schedule and looking at it itself, because my team is working on it. So exactly what's happening. So we have a work plan here. and it's showing me, that this basically project's delayed. And you can see a number of the milestones are basically haven't been completed. So we need to take action on this. At which point, I could trigger a comment directly with the project manager that's doing this. So I could go and provide request a status update directly, or some action that needs to be taken in order to actually address the schedule issue. You note here that this is also a project that's being done using Project Professional, which means that it shows OnePlan's integration capabilities with other solutions. And there's two here that are being done within OnePlan, but they're tied to a Microsoft Teams workspace. So marketing has these projects, and what I could do from here is also see from a resource planning standpoint how marketing is doing. So we have the entire organization here, and we can see that I have some resources that are not going to be fully available. I could be focusing only on my part of the organization, so I'll do that. These are called pre-filters, so I'll just focus on marketing. And we can see here that there are some resources. We have a developer within our team, and most developers are over allocated. So I need to address some of these projects in terms of the participation of that developer, or be able to find an alternative resource, candidate that might be available to replace, in this case, Oscar in one of these projects. So my content marketing, I could find another developer that might be able. It might not be a developer within marketing, but it might be another developer I can request in order to see if maybe Steve can participate in relieving Oscar. So this is about, again, understanding the allocation of your marketing team to all the project initiatives, and then being able to find suitable replacement to overcome the overallocation. So one more area I want to show is really the modeler, and here we have a very simple scenario. We have a budget of $1 million. How can we? What can we do in order to get there? We have 1.6. If we did all projects, by the way, we would need 2.6. We only have $1 million, so this is it's a real tough tough situation for marketing. I'm sure organizations are facing this, where you actually have to select what will be what's going to be the closest. So the closest we can get to is really 1.5 or 1.6. I could take out social media strategy, but that's too important. Marketing for a specific product, if I did that, I get within my 1.5. So and that's the target that we put in here. So I could be saving this as a scenario, my $1.5 million scenario. Likely what we should do is go find additional money, because marketing is too important, and not to have this funded is pretty critical. So another example of how you could be using OnePlan to focus on the projects based on budget and benefit that you have to deliver. And another important point is that you could be using this also to determine what we call above the line, below the line. So there's a lot of projects that get created, but not all of them really have the prioritization of the merit. And that's where you could be using this to. Here has a prioritization value of 63, so I'll focus on that. I will do between that and SEO optimization, I'm at 1.7. So these other two are not necessarily as important. I'm going to focus on these two, and I'll just have to figure out how we can either reduce budget, which I could by going to the financials for this project, or just seek new funding, because I could go to the financials directly and start seeing how I could reduce the budget for the initiative. So a couple of ways of trying to optimize in order to get to the intended target. Okay, as you can see here, the modeler can also work in other parts of the organization. So, we have other scenarios here for IT planning, OKR planning, the OKR model, seeing, which ones are the ones that should be selected and funded. So, again, marketing has a prominent place and should have its own prioritization model that then feeds to the overall enterprise portfolio. And that's really what we're trying to play on here, that marketing should have its PMO, marketing should be prioritizing its main initiatives that support the corporate strategy, and then having a seat at the table in order to get those initiatives funded. If we're returning, I'll just highlight, that OnePlan does have extensive reporting capabilities through Power BI, and we'll highlight and look at some of the portfolios. So here's our marketing contribution brand and brand awareness portfolio. I could drill through into portfolio details after inspecting what marketing is doing, but here's our budget. We really just have one portfolio, so I can continue drilling through, and you can make changes to these. These are the ones that are out of the box, and here's the 4 projects that we were looking at in terms of what their current status. This is one we were looking at, I can continue drilling through into the project details, and we provide 4 perspectives: an overview, a trends page based on the data that being snapshotted within OnePlan, financials, and then the execution detail. And that applies actually to any of the views. So at a program level, you could be also looking at the four dimensions, and also at the portfolio level. I think the execution is interesting because it's rolling up everything that's going on within all of the different projects. You can see brand management, portfolio, and everything that's taking place in terms of milestones, tasks, changes, issues. There's no risks apparently in this one. And this is coming directly from the data that's being registered within OnePlan.